The void was never quiet, even in the dark between stars. Something always moved, asteroids drifting, particles humming, lost signals bouncing from forgotten satellites. But this signal was different. It wasn't a whisper, it was a raw sector. K29 was a quiet zone, no one lived there, no patrols, just a black hole and some broken stations orbiting dead space. But then, one of those old satellites blinked alive, its signal burst through the dark. One line, one message, spoken in ancient Earth standard. To those who forgot us, we never forgot you. The signal spread across the galaxy. First to the nearest comm relay, then through council channels, then to private networks, pirate systems, and military outposts. It couldn't be stopped. It wasn't just a message, it was a declaration, and it was signed with a symbol lost for centuries. A blue circle, a silver star, and one word, Earth. At Council Station HFY, deep in the center of galactic civilization, panic spread like fire. High Lord Vrek of the Thalzal Empire slammed his clawed hand on the table. This is impossible. Humanity was destroyed 300 cycles ago, we saw it. Ambassador Kelton of the Madari clicked his gills nervously. We didn't see a body, Earth just disappeared. The sire of the Uthu Alliance raised his long silver fingers. This signal is genuine. The coding, the language, it's pre-exile human. Another voice spoke. Cold, controlled. Admiral Grax of the Zarn fleet leaned forward. We enslaved them, crushed their colonies, wiped their name from our records. He paused. If this signal is real, then they're coming back. Back in deep space, at Outpost 9X. Technician Rila stared at the playback. She was young, just 2 cycles into service. But even she recognized the flag. Her teacher once showed it in class, called it a myth, a symbol of an extinct race. Now, it glowed on her screen. She played the message again. To those who forgot us, we never forgot you. Then coordinates appeared. Clear, precise, and a countdown. 6 days, 12 hours, 43 minutes. All across the galaxy. The same things happened. Military systems locked onto the coordinates. Scientists ran DNA samples from the signal's base code. Every test came back the same. Human, not mutated, not hybrid. Pure Earth stock. The galaxy had moved on, and Earth had waited back on Council Station HFY. The debate turned into shouting. We must send a fleet. No, we should respond in peace. They'll want revenge. They don't have the strength. A screen behind them flickered. The signal was playing again and interrupted. One alien leader stood alone in silence. Counselor Yaren of the Zethari She remembered the old war. She had been young then an aide during the human cleansing campaign. She thought it was necessary. She believed Earth was dangerous. But now her hands shook. They warned us, she whispered. The room went silent. What did you say? They warned us, she repeated. Before we burned their colonies. Before we silenced their ambassadors, they said, if Earth ever returns, it will not come with open hands. The countdown dropped under 6 days. And near the coordinates given an empty patch of dark space sat, an old mining world, abandoned, frozen. But something was changing. A drone from a private scavenger crew passed nearby. It picked up heat signatures, then gravity distortions, then an object. Large, black, shaped like a blade. The drone sent images to its operator. He stared at the dark silhouette and dropped his drink. His assistant asked, "What is that?" The man spoke one word, a word not spoken in 300 years. Dreadnought. 1 hour later, the drone feed went dark. And the scavenger ship vanished. No wreckage, no trace. Just silence. On day 5, a second signal, broadcast galaxy-wide. You will not find us. You will not stop us. We are already here. A shadow passed by a peaceful trade station. No alarms. No weapons fired. Just a silent ship with no name. But its hull was old. Its design. Human. At an orbital prison in Sector Zetatrov, guards found all their systems dead. Doors unlocked. Inside, the prisoners were gone. No signs of struggle. Just a message carved into the command wall. We remember who put them here. On a civilian newsfeed, a mysterious video played. No one knew who posted it. It showed Humanstal, armored, scarred, walking through a ruined corridor. One looked directly into the camera and said, "You moved on, but we never stopped watching." In the highest chamber of the Galactic Council, Lord Vrek called for immediate war. They're monsters. We must strike first. But someone interrupted. A calm voice from the corner. Zethari Counselor Yaren stood. "You already struck first," she said. Vrek shouted, "They'll burn the galaxy." She nodded. "Maybe, but maybe, it's our turn to pay." As the countdown dropped to 3 days, New signals were detected near every major capital in the galaxy. They weren't ships, they weren't bombs, they were beacons. Each one pulsed with the same energy. Each one said the same thing. We are the children of silence, we are Earth reborn, and we are not alone. Then came the last line of the new signal. Prepare your answers, or prepare your dead. The galaxy had forgotten Earth, but Earth remembered everything, and now it was coming back, not with peace, not with negotiation, but with blood. The slaves had screamed when they burned, but their masters had laughed. That was 3 centuries ago on the core world of Veltrax, capital of the Trelvan Empire. The old war was nothing but a story now told to children, remembered only as a joke. Humanity, weak, loud, primitive. The Emperor's great-grandfather had overseen their destruction. Now his descendant ruled over 40 systems and believed humans were extinct, until the signal came. Grand Commander Ulrich stood on the obsidian balcony of his war citadel, watching the red sky. He held a data tablet, reading the message again. To those who forgot us, we never forgot you. His second-in-command Ren spoke carefully. It's spreading, sir. The entire galaxy has seen it. Ulrich snorted. Old ghosts. Some reports say it's real. Ulrich turned. His eyes glowed red under his battle crown. Kill it again. A Trelvan war frigate Furies. Breath was sent to the signal's coordinates. It jumped to the edge of a cold system. Empty. No stations. No heat. Nothing here, the pilot said. But Captain smiled. Told you. Human trickery. But then a whisper on COMMS. Low. Clear, you shouldn't have come. The crew laughed. Is that it? The weapons officer said. Spooky voice. But the whisper came again. This time from inside the ship's speakers. We remember the cages, the burning, the laughing. Deep. One by one, lights failed. Engines died. Weapons powered off. Then, from behind the shadow of a moon, something moved. A ship. No. Hunter. The Trelvan vessel opened. Fire. Missiles. Lasers. Plasma. The target didn't move. It just absorbed, reflected. Then answered. Not with guns. But with a scream. Digital, ancient, and human. The Trelvan crew's eyes went wide as systems cracked. Floors buckled. The air screamed back. And in one flash, the Fury's breath exploded, scattered into dust. No wreckage left. Just silence, and a message beamed back to Veltrax. 1 empire down, more to go. On Veltrax, panic took root. Their leaders held emergency meetings. Ulrich screamed at his generals. What was that ship? Unknown, sir. No transponder. No ID. But what? The general swallowed. It had an old Earth flag carved into the hull. Not painted, carved. Ulrich ordered the fleet to high alert. Cities locked down. Broadcasts were cut. And from deep within his war museum, he pulled out an old trophy, a cracked human helmet. He stared at it, scoffed, then threw it into the fire. A day later, his palace lights flickered. Security alarms, glitched. Guards vanished from their posts. And in the silence of his throne room, a voice whispered behind him, you laughed while we burned. He turned. No one there. Just a helmet back on his throne. Still cracked. Still bloody. In space above Veltrax, a new object appeared. A drop shard, a weapon from Earth's past wars. It held only 1 passenger. No name, no ID, just armor the color of midnight and eyes like frozen stars. The shard entered the atmosphere without resistance. The planet's defenses never activated. Across the city, screens lit up with a face hidden behind a human combat helmet. The voice spoke in Earth standard. To the Trelvan people, you have lived fat on stolen peace. You watched us die, you cheered. Now you will learn what silence taught us. Ulrich fled. He boarded his personal cruiser, tried to launch. The engines failed. The pilot fell to the floor, eyes blank. A symbol burned into the screen. The Earth flag. He screamed, and from the back of the ship, footsteps came, slow, heavy, human. The next day, the Trelvan News Network broadcast a silent video. Ulrich, tied to the same throne where he once mocked human prisoners, now alone. No guards, only a single word carved into the stone beside him. Remember. The Empire collapsed in a week. Other species cheered. Some stayed silent, but everyone got the message. Humanity was not only back, it was hunting, and the galaxy's worst monsters were first on the list. It was never random. Every attack, every strike, every message, they were all planned, not by anger, not by revenge. But by something colder. Mathematical, strategic, patient. Aboard the human command ship, ENS, Revenant, high above the ruins of Veltrax, Admiral Kyra Hale stood in silence. Before her floated a black glass screen. It displayed 57 names, not just names, targets, alien worlds, capital cities, war leaders, corporations. Each name glowed red. At the top, bold and clear, Bloodlist, Project Vengeance Protocol, activated. Revenants AI, codenamed Shade, spoke softly. Next target confirmed. Coordinated strike. Authorization required. Halle didn't speak. She stared at the name blinking on the list. Dravari Enclave, Sector Delta 51. Species known for breeding humans in labs for sport. For profit. She nodded once. Authorization granted. Burned. It, Shade replied. Message sent. Seconds later, 5 ships vanished into jump space. No war warning. No diplomacy. Just death. Across the galaxy. The Bloodlist was leaked. No one knew how. No one knew who released it, but every system received a copy. On walls, on screens, on personal devices. Some panicked, some begged for their name not to be next. Others quietly fled their planets. On the council world of Telron, the ruling class gathered in terror. High Chancellor Veek of the Aryan Confederacy stared at the list. That his name wasn't on it, not yet, but he remembered, years ago when Earth's colonies were failing, the Aryan refused help, blocked aid, sold human refugees into mercenary armies. He looked around the room. How many of us are guilty? He asked. No one answered because they all knew. Elsewhere, a mercenary station exploded without warning. No escape pods. No distress call. Just wreckage and a repeating message. For what you sold. For what you took, we remember. Back aboard the Revenant, Halle met with her officers. Each one wore black armor unmarked. Each one born after Earth's fall. They were not survivors. They were descendants of vengeance. Commander Lin asked how. Long before the council responds. Soon Hale said, but they won't attack. Why not? She looked at the list. Because they don't know if they're next. Far from the fleet, a deep space listening post picked up whispers, hidden transmissions. Alien leaders calling secret meetings, asking for protection, offering peace. But Earth didn't answer, because Earth wasn't asking anymore. On a mining moon, a young alien found an old human book buried in rubble. She opened it. Inside was a drawing, an Earth soldier, holding a banner that read, "We forgive nothing." She showed it to her teacher. The teacher just nodded. It's not a threat, he said. It's a promise. The blood list kept growing. Not just warlords, but scientists who performed experiments, traders who sold human children, senators who gave the orders. Every one of them. Tracked. Marked. Hunted. Some species tried to fight. The Grax Confederation launched a fleet to intercept a human strike group. They never returned later. Debris floated into their home system. On it was a message burned into metal. Fighting back will not save you. A shadow fell across the galaxy. Not a shadow of destruction, a shadow of memory. For the first time in centuries. The stars whispered one name in fear, Darth, and they whispered one question. Are we on the list? The council was meant to keep peace. It was made after the first war when stars burned, and billions died. It had one law. No species shall rise to dominance through revenge. Now that law was breaking because Earth had returned, and it wasn't coming for balance. It was coming to collect. In the Grand Chamber on Council Station Zenith Prime, panic ruled. 97 species stood shouting. News screens played across every wall. Veltrax burned, Grax crushed, Dravari Enclave gone, and now the Bloodlist. Ambassadors, kings, commanders, all asking the same thing. Are we next? Councillor Raim of the Valari barked. We must retaliate now. Destroy their fleets. Ambassador Sozian of the Kalux whispered. We tried that 300 years ago. We failed. Then surrender. Someone shouted. No, said a new voice. Councillor Yiran of the Zethari stepped forward. Calm in the storm. We need to understand them. The room laughed. Understand humans, they're ghosts. No, she said. They're soldiers, and they're doing exactly what we taught them. Footage played from the council archive. Old videos hidden and redacted. Human colonies begging for help. Earth asking for trade, peace, alliance. And the council saying, no. Then footage of orbital strikes, human screams. Flames. One alien general turning to the camera and saying, Earth belongs in the ashes. Now that message had returned, just rewritten. You burned us. Now we light the match. Admiral Voss of the Farsight Armada stood. We must strike Earth directly. The room froze. Yrn turned slowly. You don't understand. Earth is gone. But she pressed a button. A hologram showed Earth's last known coordinates. Empty, no signal, no planet. Earth erased itself. They wanted the galaxy to believe they were dead. Another ambassador muttered, but they weren't dead. They were preparing. Then, all screens shut down. Darkness. Moment of silence. Then a voice filled the chamber. Mail.com/human. We see you. We remember the votes, the betrayals, the bombs you stood by while we begged. You will stand no longer. One by one, names appeared on the council's own displays. Not just old leaders, current ones. To those on the blood list, judgment comes. The council's security scrambled. Guards ran, shields activated. Too late. In the crowd, 12 cloaked figures dropped their disguises. They weren't assassins, they weren't spies. They were humans, living, breathing, and very real. One raised a small projector. An image appeared. It was a human child, wounded, crying, alone in a ruined colony. Then more images. Men burned alive, women taken to labor camps, prisoners executed by alien overlords. And then the final one, a graveyard of human ships floating around a destroyed Earth. The voice returned. You thought time would erase us, you thought we would fade. We became silent not because we were weak, but because we were building our answer. The figures vanished. No weapons fired, no violence. No violence. Just fear. A kind the council had not felt in centuries. Later that night, in a hidden chamber, 6 council species gathered secretly: Zethari, Calyx, Uthu, Jan, humans, and one unknown. They called it the Second Pact. Not for peace, but for survival. YRN said, the blood list is real, and it's just the beginning. Someone asked, will Earth negotiate? A silent man in black armor looked up. A scar ran across his cheek. He simply said, no. In the dark of the galaxy, satellites blinked offline. Council fleets reported being followed. Trade ships vanished. Each time a symbol was left behind. The blue circle, the silver star, Earth's flag. And then came Earth's second message. We sent one name, now we send 12,000. 12,000 who remember, 12,000 who answer, 12,000 who do not forgive. The council had ruled for 3 centuries, but now, one by one, its members began to disappear. Earth was gone. That's what the galaxy believed. That's what the council had told them. For 300 years, no ship entered Sol System, no signal escaped, no answers came, just silence. But silence was never emptiness. Earth hadn't died, it had hidden, and under the ashes, it had built something terrible. The ENS Revenant floated in high orbit over what once was Earth. But Earth was not as it seemed. On the outside, the planet looked dead: black clouds, ruined oceans, shattered continents. Commander Lin stood on the bridge beside Admiral Kyra Hale. She watched the surface, confused. It's quiet. Hale nodded. It's supposed to be. Then she pressed a code into the control panel. Suddenly, the clouds shifted, and Earth changed. The sky peeled open like a curtain. Light bled through the black haze. Below, vast structures appeared: underground cities, weapon foundries, launch platforms the size of continents. A secret world, alive and burning with power. Lin stepped back in shock. This isn't a graveyard. No, Hale said. It's a forge. After the collapse, the final betrayal by the Galactic Council, Earth had one option: disappear. Their leaders enacted Protocol Emberfall, a complete global cover-up. Destroy visible cities, mask all energy output, fake planetary deaths, dig into the core and build a new kind of civilization. Not to thrive, not to grow, but to strike back deep beneath the surface. In what used to be North America, the vault came online. Inside, millions of cryopods, genetic banks, war AI cores, and something else. A massive engine called the Leviathan Protocol. It wasn't a weapon, it was a builder. It could construct an entire fleet in weeks. Silent, fast, automated humanity had become the machine it needed to survive. In a hidden hangar, a young pilot named Ren awoke from cryosleep. She didn't remember the old world. She was born in the vault, trained for war. Her first words were not mom or dad. They were, I served the Black Star, and that star wasn't for hope, it was for vengeance. Admiral Hale entered the hangar as Ren suited up. The young pilot saluted. Target. Hale handed her a chip. Jarnik Mining Syndicate. They ran death camps during the fall, still profit from it. Ren inserted the chip into her flight console. Coordinates locked. Burn it, Hale said. Ren smiled. Moments later, Ren's stealth ship launched from a hidden mountain gate. It vanished into space. Jarnik would never see it coming. In orbit, Council spies tried to observe Earth's movements, but their probes were caught and returned. Not destroyed. Returned, with a message scratched into the metal. Try again. Earth's return wasn't just about war, it was about control. Every broadcast Earth sent was carefully timed. Every fleet launch calculated. Every strike measured. They didn't want chaos. They wanted the galaxy to watch to see what happens when a species remembers everything in a vault chamber. Elder Von, one of the original Emberfall architects, stood before a wall of fire. It was a memorial. Not names. But crimes. Each etched into steel. Each one matched to a world, a species, a ruler. This is not revenge, he whispered. This is correction. Some within Earth's own ranks questioned the mission. Commander Lin asked Admiral Hale one night, "What happens after the list ends?" Hale looked out at the stars. "Then we give the galaxy a choice." What choice? Obey the silence, or become it, in the dark of deep space. Earth's first Leviathan-class ship finished construction. Over 12 kilometers long. Armor black as the void. Engines silent. AI-controlled. It had no name. Just a call sign. ENS Ghostfire. The moment it powered on, a council listening station picked up its signal. Just 6 words. No more. Built in ashes, forged in memory. Then the station exploded. By the end of the cycle, Earth's surface reshrouded in clouds. The forges powered down. The silence returned to anyone watching from space. Earth was still dead, still harmless, still forgotten. But those who had seen, those who had felt Earth's new breath, knew the truth. Earth was back. Earth had teeth, and the galaxy would never sleep again. They thought the dead stars were safe. No life. No energy. Just cold rocks floating around black suns. Graveyards. Forgotten. But something was moving near them now. Something old. Something angry. Something human. In the Delta Rim, the Kartian Empire ran mining operations in dead systems. Cheap labor. No laws. No one watching. They never expected visitors, especially not from a dead world like Earth. But then, out of nowhere, one of their stations vanished. No distress call, no fight, just gone. 3 days later, another disappeared, and this time a message was found, burned into the asteroid belt near it. "This is where you buried us. This is where we rise." On the bridge of the Earth dreadnought ENS Ghostfire, Commander Wren studied the hologram of Sector 1-B, once known as the Silence Belt. 5 ancient human colonies had died here after the betrayal. Radiation storms, bioplagues, mass bombardment from alien war fleets. Nothing survived, or so the galaxy believed. But deep under the crust of those dead worlds, Earth had stored something, not people, not weapons, plans, and now they were being activated. Admiral Hale joined Wren, her voice low. "The stations are rebuilding." Wren looked surprised. "But they're ruins, not anymore." Shade, the AI of the fleet, added, "Project Emberseed successful. Automated nanoforges active. Recovery at 48%. The old dead colonies were being brought back online. Not for life. But for war. In the Kartian capital, Emperor Tovik held an emergency meeting. Their outposts were vanishing. A captured drone had filmed a horrifying sight before its destruction. A massive human warship shaped like a scythe, launching thousands of micropods into space. Each pod carried terraforming bombs, AI fighters, and memory beacons. Tovik shouted, "Why would they come here? This place is cursed." His advisor replied in fear, "Because this is where we killed them." Back on one of the ruined human worlds, called Kepler's Fall, a strange event took place. A Kartian patrol landed, searching for stolen equipment. Instead, they found a field of white flowers. Unnatural. Growing in ash. Each one pulsed with soft light. The captain bent down, touched one. It whispered, "We remember." Then the field exploded in white fire. Nothing was left. On Earth, deep in the vault, Elder Von stood before a growing wall of data. Every strike was recorded, every planet reclaimed, every outpost revived. He turned to the Council of War. "Phase 3 begins now." "What's Phase 3? One asked. He smiled. "We burn what they built on our graves." Across the galaxy, reports came in, mining stations gone, dead stars flaring briefly with unnatural light, ships vanishing without trace. Some called it sabotage, others called it a curse, but the truth was simpler. Earth had returned to its fallen homes, and it wasn't coming to mourn, it was coming to harvest the ashes in Council Station Zenith Prime. Panic returned. The blood list was updated now. It had new targets. Species who had settled on old human ruins, who claimed the silence for profit, who said, "No one's left." They were wrong. The silence had grown teeth. Earth's next message shocked even its allies. It played across every channel. "You took our homes. You crushed our people. You erased our names. Now we erased yours." Then the names of 15 systems flashed on screen, followed by a timer, 72 hours, leave or burn. Some obeyed. They evacuated in hours. Others laughed. They didn't laugh for long. When the timer hit 0, they burned. No human troops, no fleets, just quiet weapons, nanite storms, pulse strikes, electronic ghosts. The stars lit up for moments, then went dark forever. Back aboard the HFY, Ren looked at the stars vanishing behind them. Lin joined her. You think we've gone too far? She didn't answer, just stared. Then whispered, we were never given mercy, so now we don't offer it. Some species tried to contact Earth. Offer peace, apologize, beg. They received the same message every time. You had your chance, but not all the galaxy was afraid. Some watched in silence, some remembered Earth as it once was before the fall, and a few wondered if it was still possible to stop this war before it consumed everything. But those who looked into Earth's reborn fire knew the truth. The dead stars had lit up again, and they were burning with human rage. The list was almost complete. Dozens of worlds burned, empires fell. Silence followed each strike. But Earth had not forgotten the worst ones, the final 5, the ones who ordered the betrayal, who made the vote, who watched Earth beyond, cheered. They were called the Reckoning Worlds. The message came at dawn, not through war channels, not over encrypted networks. It came through every screen, from a child's toy to the Emperor's throne. The message was short, just a name. Zorak, you are first. Panic exploded across Zorak Prime. The skies turned red. The people fled. The government screamed for help. But no help came, because no one dared stand between Earth and its vengeance. Not anymore. On board the ENS Revenant, Admiral Hale stood in full combat armor. Commander Lin asked, why these 5 now? Hale's voice was ice. They gave the final order. Back in time, 300 years ago, these 5 races had gathered in secret. They held the final vote. Exile Earth, destroy its colonies, leave no survivors. The vote passed, and so began the long silence. But Earth had survived, and now it remembered. Who raised the hammer? Zarok fell in one night. No invasion, just shadow. First, power failed. Then the skies filled with black ships. UNMOVING. Then every weapon system shut down. One by one, the planet's leaders vanished. The last broadcast from Zorak was a scream. Then silence. Next was KRNI-12.A Fortress World. Built to stop full-scale invasions. It lasted 3 hours. Earth's AI used ancient maps stolen during peace talks centuries ago to collapse Karnith's atmospheric control. Grid. No missiles. Just air pressure. One moment screams. Next moment, silence. The galaxy trembled. The council begged Earth to stop. They offered tribute, peace, surrender. They sent gifts. One world even tried to offer 100,000 slaves as penance. Earth responded with a message. We don't want payment. We want justice. And justice doesn't negotiate. Inside the vault on Earth, Elder Vaughn spoke to the remaining command generals. The 5th name is preparing their fleet. Admiral Hale nodded. They will not get the chance. The 3rd world, Velthar, tried to run, evacuated its cities, abandoned its stations, burned all its records. Didn't matter. Earth's ships arrived, not to kill, but to broadcast Velthar's crimes, their vote, their betrayal. The entire galaxy watched, and then Earth left them alive to live in fear, to remember that sometimes mercy is the cruelest blade. The 4th, Ultar Dominion, once proud, now desperate, they sent their entire war fleet to block Earth's advance, but Earth had already passed. Ships decloaked behind them. Earth had learned, adapted, improved. Ultar's fleet exploded in less than 10 minutes. One of Earth's stealth captains sent a final message before vanishing again. You trained us to fight. You forgot what we could become. Then came the last name, the Erivon Concord, the architects of the betrayal, the race who created the virus that almost wiped out Earth's survivors. Now they hid behind hundreds of worlds, but it didn't matter. Earth didn't go around obstacles, it went through them. The ENS Ghostfire led the charge. 10 Leviathan-class warships followed. Thousands of unmanned drones swarmed. Earth's fleet didn't speak, didn't taunt, didn't offer surrender. It just came, and the stars around. The Concorde turned red, then black, then gone. A council camera captured the last message sent by the Erivon leader. We were gods once, and now we are dust. In the ruins of their final fortress, Earth placed a monument, a simple statue. No flag, no name, just words carved into black steel. Here ends betrayal, here begins memory. All across the galaxy, The blood list stopped updating. It was complete. Earth had taken what it came for. And now everyone waited. Was the war over, or was this just the beginning? Admiral Hale stood before the human fleet, the stars quiet again. She spoke one sentence. We gave them a chance. They chose silence. Now they live with what they taught us to become. It should have ended there. The blood list was complete. The last enemies burned. The traitors erased. The galaxy expected Earth to stop, but Earth didn't forget, because this was never about revenge. It was about memory in the silent space between systems. The ENS Revenant floated in darkness. Admiral Kyra Hale stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars. Behind her, Shade spoke. Operation Reckoning is complete. She didn't answer. The AI continued. What now, Admiral? She closed her eyes, then said quietly, now we remind them. Across the galaxy, humans had become legend. Some called them ghosts. Others called them demons. Few believed they were real, but now everyone knew the truth. They had survived. They had rebuilt, and they had returned, not to conquer, but to correct the galaxy's memory on neutral worlds. Children watched news reports of burning fleets and falling empires. Some cried, but many cheered. They were the children of those Earth once helped. The forgotten, the broken, the left behind to them. Earth wasn't a monster. Earth was justice. Earth was hope. In the council ruins, only a few leaders remained. They gathered in silence, waiting for Earth's next move. Councillor Yeren of the Zethari stood and said, we must decide. Do we build a future with them, or without them? No one spoke, until a new figure entered the chamber. Black armor, human eyes, calm voice. You don't get to decide. Earth offered one chance, a new accord. Not for peace, but for truth. No more lies, no more forced treaties, no more betrayal. Those who agreed would be watched, not ruled, but remembered, and those who refused would vanish in silence. On a small moon named Estra, a child discovered an old Earth beacon. She activated it. A soft voice played. We are not gods. We are not monsters. We are just people. But when the stars turned against us, we became what we had to. Not to destroy the galaxy, but to survive it. Back on Earth, the clouds slowly cleared for the first time. In centuries. Not fully, just enough to see the stars. And across the vaults, across the ruins, across the rebuilt cities, people looked up. They weren't cheering, they weren't crying, they were remembering. Commander Lin walked beside Admiral Hale through the corridors of the Ghostfire. Lin asked softly, it's over, isn't it? Hale didn't answer right away. She looked at the fleet, 12,000 ships, each born from silence. Then said, no, it's just the beginning. Earth had changed, but it had also changed the galaxy. Now warlords looked over their shoulders. Now traders thought twice before cheating the weak. Now governments listened when the helpless cried, because they knew Earth was out there watching, waiting. One last message was sent to the galaxy. Simple. Clear. Final. You buried us in silence. You left us to rot, but silence taught us patience, and pain taught us purpose. We are the last memory you will ever forget. As the Revenant faded into deep space, the stars blinked. A quiet reminder burned into every channel, every screen, every dark corner of the galaxy. We remember everything.